planning to introduce cryptocurrencies, what exactly are their plans, and how we as a cybersecurity professional should be aware about it, should be prepared for the same. So without wasting any time, let's quickly start with let's say the session. So how exactly the agenda goes for today is that, first of all, we'll be talking about the global expansion of the digital currencies, means how exactly digital currencies are being accepted, adopted, and implemented across the world as well. We'll be coming out with a few of, let's say, the adaptations from China, from Europe, from Singapore, and let's say the others as well, where they are trying to come out with their own CBDC at the end of the day. Then we'll be talking about the cryptocurrencies and its advantages. I know that, okay, a lot of you would have heard about Bitcoin and let's say the other types of cryptocurrencies as well, which are there in the market. But today we'll try to go a bit deeper and try to understand what exactly are those and what is the advantage. Why exactly we are not relying on a normal credit or debit card to perform the transaction on the normal monetary things, and we are focusing on the cryptocurrency. We'll be talking about the journey of cryptocurrency or virtual assets in India. Now, for many of you, you might be aware that this particular cryptocurrency, or when I say cryptocurrency, it's also known as a virtual assets as well. And that is what, let's say, RBI's stand is there too, that they do not want to use cryptocurrency as a payment form, as a payment currency, but they are accepting cryptocurrencies as a virtual assets, which means that, okay, you and me can keep it as a belonging, which will have, of course, a particular value, but it cannot be used for transaction, cannot be used as a, let's say, as a currency at the end of the day. Then we'll be talking about India's plan on developing our own local digital currency as well, which is a central bank the digital currency. We'll be talking about that, okay, how exactly to secure the payment ecosystem, which revolves around cryptocurrencies. So once we were discussing about the global expansion of digital currencies and things like that, we'll be also talking about crypto-centric payment processors or payment gateways. What exactly are those and how exactly they come in the entire payment, or say where exactly they fit in the entire payment ecosystem. We'll be talking about the challenges which with the IT world is facing because of the cryptocurrencies. And then we leave the entire session with the 5-step solution as to how exactly you and me, or let's say both of our organizations, need to prepare ourselves for securing the crypto transactions once it gets implemented at the end of the day. So let's talk about the global expansion of digital currencies. Now, as many of you might be knowing that sometime back, Elon Musk went ahead and said that they're ready to accept Bitcoins for their Tesla cars. Now, that was the time when the market boomed like anything, because at that time, organizations or even institutions or even an individual like, let's say, you and me, got an exact understanding about the usability of these cryptocurrencies. They were specific with Bitcoin, and there are other different cryptocurrencies as well, but it was a starting point. And after that, many different institutions came together and said that, okay, yes, we'll also accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment, as a form of legal tender as well. And that's where the entire industry started heating up. And that is the very reason why exactly on the right-hand side, if you'll see, there are more than 87 countries worldwide right now which are exploring the central bank digital currency, which is CBDC. They're trying to come up with their own digital currency because they know that, okay, yes, this is the future. This is the future for you, for me, for everyone around the globe. We'll talk about that, okay, why exactly it's supposed to be considered the future of currencies, but let's start over here with the adoption first. So China is coming out with the digital renminbi, Nigeria with e-naira, Singapore, Canada, European region, and the other countries follow as well. Even India also is trying to come out with their own digital currency latest by next financial year. That's what is being anticipated, and then we'll see how exactly it grows as well. And what exact impact it has on the global market space, that is something which we can understand from the market reach out with the 4.94 billion, you can say the market size of cryptocurrencies by 2030. The cross-border payments will be hitting at least another $156 trillion by 2022. And financial institutions will be able to save another 25 billion if by 2030, if they are able to implement this blockchain technology. So do not worry that, okay, what is blockchain? What is cryptocurrency and all? Blockchain is the underlying, you can say, platform, the framework on which the cryptocurrencies work on. Okay, we'll be focusing on the cryptocurrencies over here, but the blockchain is just the, let's say, mechanism which is being used by cryptocurrencies to go from one place to the other, or let's say to perform the end-to-end transactions over there. Now, one particular point which is over here, which is on the cross-border payments. Why exactly we are focusing this much on this cross-border payments? The reason being is because cross-border payments help us grow, help our organization grow. When we are doing a transaction from India to Japan, or let's say from India to US or India to GCC or any other place, right? A typical SWIFT transaction takes another 5 business days to settle. Whereas a crypto transaction merely takes 1 hour to settle and then accordingly get done. If you're talking about the cross-border transactions, a normal cross-border transaction with the SWIFT or let's say any other medium, the transaction rate over there varies from 5 to 9%. Whereas if I'm using a cryptocurrency and I'm doing the same cross-border transaction, I just have to pay 0.5 to 1% over there as a transaction fees as a surge on top of it. So that's why the cryptocurrencies, this entire, you can say, ecosystem around cryptocurrencies is very, very beneficial for a cross-border transfers, where we'll be able to expand and grow more at any given point in time. And that is the reason why exactly is being anticipated by McKinsey and different research firms across the globe that by 2030, it is going to reach another 4.94 billion. And believe me, guys, India itself at that particular point in time will be reaching another, let's say, 1 to 2 billion by the time when it comes to these crypto transactions. And that is a huge, huge leap as well with respect to the current traditional transactions, what we do. In India right now itself, there are more than, I believe that 2 to 3 million subscribers of cryptocurrencies who have already started using cryptocurrencies as well. Many of the blogs, when you'll see, you'll understand that, okay, they have been saying that a normal banking institute gives us, or let's say a normal bank gives us what, 7% return on investment. And they have got more than 500% actually return on investment on these cryptocurrencies as well. We do understand that the market is volatile when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because if you'll see late back in 2019, 17, 16 and all, it took a huge dip from $25,000. It came to $6,000 as well. Okay, when we're talking about the Bitcoin, because that acquires another 69% of the total market cap over there. But nevertheless, with the introduction, with the you can say with the acceptance by different countries over here, the things have been improving, and accordingly the rate of these cryptocurrencies as well has been improving every day as well. So how exactly the transaction, how exactly a crypto transaction happen, how exactly a transaction gets into a blockchain? So typically what we need to understand over here is that, as usual, there has to be a sender and a receiver. Now, sender will be sending up the Bitcoin as a part of course, your transaction, because I have to pay you, then accordingly, I'll be paying you via Bitcoin over there. So the transaction is requested and accordingly authenticated as well. Now, authentication plays a very, very crucial role over here. How? Because authentication happens via a password. Now, password of what? Password of the wallet which you will be using to perform the payment. Now, please try to understand this, that when I'm talking about cryptocurrencies, when I'm talking about the crypto transaction, all the things are happening via my digital wallet. which is protected by a password. And the transaction gets through via a PKI infrastructure, which is the public-private key pair as well, which makes these types of transactions much more secure. Even something which is we'll be seeing at a later point in time is that over here we do not identify a particular individual by their name. We identify them based upon the Bitcoin address, or let's say the virtual address which is being tracked. And there is, you can say, very, very less probability that, okay, a particular individual can be identified based upon that particular virtual address. That is what will give, let's say, the pseudonymity as well over here. Now, coming back to the transaction. So a transaction is requested and authenticated. I told you that, okay, a wallet is being used for the same. A block that is being represented, that the transaction is created, and then accordingly it's sent and sent to each and every node in the entire network, of the blockchain, in the entire network of peer-to-peer nodes, whatever has been set up. Now, this is where the fun starts, because when it's being sent to each and every, you can say, node, what they need to do is that they need to validate this particular transaction. Now, this particular validation of the transaction is known as the proof of work, where they need to solve mathematical problems. And then accordingly, they get rewarded as well for each and every mathematical problem which they're able to solve, so that that particular block is authenticated and authorized and put into the blockchain of the entire payment. Now, believe me, guys, when I say mathematical problem, it's not, let's say, a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus b square plus 2ab. That's not what it is. It is entirely based on permutation and combination. And to solve this particular challenge, to solve this particular thing, the probability is 1 in, I believe, 1 in a few trillions, 1 in 3 trillions, or 1 in 4 trillions, something like that over there. That is how complex the mathematical problem is to solve this entire thing. So once the node validates this particular transaction, they are able to solve this particular mathematical problem. And then accordingly, the particular block gets added to the existing blockchain, is distributed across the network. And then accordingly, we say that, okay, the transaction has been completed. Now, this particular solving the challenge is very, very crucial, because that is where the concept of nodes come into picture. Nodes means the peer-to-peer network using which you are trying to create the entire network for your blockchain, for your crypto transactions. And that's how the entire, you can say, flow as well goes ahead. However, this proof of concept takes, because as I told you, that 1 in a few trillion probability is there to solve the particular mathematical problem. It means that you should be, or let's say, somebody would be spending high amount of energy in solving these particular, you can say, complex problems. And that is why, if you'll see, based upon the data analysis, another 70 terawatt hours of electricity, of energy, is being spent to solve these crypto, you can say, the transactions, to solve these crypto challenges, the mathematical problems in a year. If you'll see on a global scale that, okay, how much energy a particular country is spending, let's say, as a part of their normal day-to-day activities. So if you compare with that, this crypto, this blockchain, this entire ecosystem will be ranked as 40th in the world, 40. It means the 40th country. This is how much spending of energy is required to perform these entire transactions, which is huge. Ireland, Austria, and all comes later when we're talking about the expenditure as well. Of course, there's not an apple-to-apple comparison over here, but we are just trying to tell you that, okay, what scale of energy is being spent to perform this entire crypto transactions as well. And that is what makes it secure as well. Because to compromise the entire thing, I have to compromise a lot of nodes over here as a part of the transaction. Then accordingly, I'll be able to compromise the entire payment ecosystem. That brings us to our first polling question. let's bring our first polygon so that we can understand that, okay, where we are towards the understanding. So Ashwini.
Thank you, Kaushik. So here the first polling question. Many organizations are working on various blockchain use cases, including identity protection, certification, and asset transfer. Are you using payment transaction as a use case? So we'll find from the audience how many of them are using this use case. So let's end the poll. So we have here 6% of our audience is actually using payments transaction as their blockchain use cases. So do you want to comment something, Kaushik?
Sure. Thanks a lot for that, Ashwini. So yeah, exactly. So right now, India is in the adaptation stage because we have always adapted things when it comes from Western countries, when it comes from different things as well. And we have been the inventor as well, or let's say we have founded as well many of these things, or we improvise majority of the things, whatever comes down to us. So I believe that as of now, the yes, there's 6% where the blockchain is being used for, let's say, identification or certification, etc., as well for payment transactions and everything. But sooner or later, I believe that yes and no will change, and the yes will become 47% at some point in time, or more than 50% once it's accepted as a legal tender in India, especially, and then accordingly we can move ahead on the same. So right, let's start. Let's resume the activities as well. Okay, so as I was talking about the proof of work with you guys, right? Okay, so the proof of work, you understood that, okay, the proof of work, it takes a large amount of energy to be spent to solve that particular complex mathematical problem, which is probability with 1 in a few trillions, right? To solve that particular probability, that particular analysis. Now, one particular, you can say, concept which came after this proof of work was proof of stake. It means that in the previous, you can say in the previous slide or in the previous stage, what we saw is that, okay, each and every peer, each and every node was getting rewarded with respect to the proof of work which they were trying to come out with, and then accordingly they were getting benefited as well. Proof of stake is that each and every node which is a part of the entire transaction will be having some bitcoins for themselves. Okay, and then accordingly that particular transaction process will grow. So what happens is, over here there is no proof of work. Over here I do not need to solve those complex mathematical problems, because these particular peers have some stake in the game, have some skin in the game, and then accordingly they are helping to perform these particular transactions at any given point in time, which saves considerable amount of you can say energy and the time as well spent from to perform a particular transaction. Also, there's something known as smart contracts as well, which have come into you can say persistence over here. So what are smart contracts? It means that, okay, if there are certain conditions which are met, then accordingly the transaction gets processed without further delays, without further steps as well. So smart contracts are another way in which we can save energy, in which we can save a lot of computation time, computation processing power as well over here. So how does a crypto payment gateway work? It works in the very same manner like the way a normal transaction works. It's just that the customer will be using a digital wallet to perform the transaction. The same way the order is submitted to the online store, it contacts the gateway. Now, this particular payment gateway will be responsible to convert this particular cryptocurrency, let's say Bitcoin or any other currency, whatever is being used, okay, into let's say into a fiat currency. Fiat currency, it means that, okay, USD or INR or Euro, whatever currency we are using over there. And then accordingly at the back end, it will connect with the payment processor, then it goes to bank, and then it goes to the merchant as well at any given point in time. Now, and this is where basically RBI also came into picture with the High Court and Supreme Court orders as well on the same line, where they said that, okay, the banks were asked not to process transactions involving cryptocurrencies as well. There was a huge challenge as well, which came into perspective once it was getting discussed. But to perform this entire crypto payment, you will need these players in the market. At the back end, the transaction will go in this particular manner. Okay, that is the back end technology. At the front end, for the layman, like let's say you and me, this is how exactly it will go. Where I'll be having a customer, I'll be having a merchant, a payment gateway, a processor. There will be a bank who will be helping me to settle the transaction, and then accordingly, it will be transferred to the merchant. Okay, so that's how a typical, let's say, a crypto payment gateway work. And India itself have a lot of cryptocurrency exchange as well. 15 homegrown cryptocurrency exchange are there in India. Like I believe there's a Coin Switch Kuber is there, Coin DCX is there, and many others also follow the same line. So there are lots and lots of cryptocurrency exchanges as well, which are available even in India. And majority of the people who wants to trade in this cryptocurrency, they are having Indian accounts, they're having you can say international accounts as well, using which they are able to perform these crypto things. So what is a cryptocurrency? It's a form of decentralized digital or virtual currency, which is based on the backend of blockchain and secured by cryptography. A few examples: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and things like that. Bitcoin acquires another 60 to 70% of the total cryptocurrency market, and the others follow as well at the same time. So how exactly cryptocurrencies are much more helpful, much more useful, and accordingly help everyone is, first of all, with decentralization. It means that so many nodes, which I told you just about, that, okay, so many nodes are connected to perform the transaction. So there is no central governance body who is saying that, okay, yes, you can do this transaction. No, you cannot do this transaction there, and somebody who's monitoring it. No, that's not how it goes. It's a distributed network of investors who are, you can say, performing the proof of work, or let's say the scope of, or the proof of scope, and then accordingly, they're going ahead the same. The blockchain, which is, I know that, okay, by now, majority of you might be knowing about blockchain as well, which is a ledger, basically. That is, when I say ledger, it means a record, okay, one after the other, that particular record. And blocks are nothing but in the same sequence, I have the records aligned over there, which helps to record transactions, track assets, and build trust as well. And lastly, the cryptography, as I told you, that you will be having, first of all, the wallets, which will be protected by the passwords. And then you will be having the PKI infrastructure as well, using the public-private key pair and the digital signature as well. You will be securing your transaction. And that is how the cryptocurrency helps us in faster transactions, low transaction rates, easy to access, and very high transparency as well. Because over here, the transaction is being played, or say is being happening between two specific individuals. There is no n number of parties involved. Even if they are involved, they are just facilitating the entire transaction. They cannot do anything with your transaction, unlike the way when you use a credit or debit card, where you have n number of different things happening. And that is why we are saying that, okay, these cryptocurrencies are revolutionary in nature. Like, the first thing is irreversible. Yeah, I know that, okay, this might not sound good or great as well, but yes, these cryptocurrencies, these crypto transactions are irreversible. Once it's done, it's done. You cannot take it back at any given point in time, which is good and which is bad as well. Bad, of course, because I've spent, I've paid, and then it cannot be reversed. So if you have sent it to a wrong virtual address, to a wrong Bitcoin address, then accordingly your money cannot come back until and unless that particular person returns back the money at any given point in time. Okay, how it's good is because there is no centralized body or government which is deciding that, okay, what you can or cannot spend money on. Because if you'll see, a particular thing can be bought by money, a particular thing cannot be bought by money. Okay, there can be n number of different use cases over there. But over here, what they're saying is that, okay, you can use the Bitcoins, these particular cryptocurrencies, anywhere and everywhere for anything, whatever you like. As far as, let's say, the other party is also accepting the Bitcoins as well. So there is no central authority who is saying that, okay, yes, you can buy this. Yes, you cannot buy this as well. Then pseudonymous, where the accounts and transactions are not connected to real world identity. It means that they will be, as I told you, a virtual address. And then accordingly, this particular virtual address cannot be tagged directly to the individual who exactly it has been allocated to. It's secure as well. I told you, with the passwords, with the PKI infrastructure and things like that. It is permissionless. It means there is no discrimination. You can download a particular application, accordingly, go ahead, start performing the payment with as minimal, you can say as minimal transaction to as greater transaction as possible. Okay, there is no discrimination over here at all when it comes to cryptocurrencies, and it's fast and global. It means that even if I'm doing a transaction, like let's say if I'm sitting in this room and I'm transferring Bitcoin to somebody else in the adjacent room, even then as well, it will try to follow the let's say the shortest path possible along with the let's say the peer-to-peer node connection, the way it has been designed to. Okay, and then accordingly it will be going to the other party over there. So whatever distance it is from India to US, or from India to let's say Japan, or from India to any other, like let's say China, or let's say any other country as well, the time taken will be the same, irrespective of where exactly we are sitting. And that's why this entire cryptocurrency is a revolution in itself, because of which so many countries are trying to adapt. And that's what we saw as well. 80 plus countries as of now are trying to adapt as well. And what exactly is India's take on it? In 2010 was the first time when Bitcoin was introduced, or let's say the first sale using a Bitcoin happened. 13, RBI issued a warning that, okay, we shouldn't use these virtual currencies for payments, because of course they cannot regulate it. So they cannot provide the assurance, the security as well to a common individual, to a common party, like let's say you and me, as to what exactly can go bad, what exactly can happen. In 2018, they issued a circular restraining banks and fintechs that, okay, the financial services to these virtual currency exchanges should not be provided. 19, the ministry appointed a committee so that we can understand that, okay, what will bans need to be imposed, because this virtual currency is not a legal tender when it comes to, let's say India, when it comes to the Reserve Bank of India. But it was in 2020 when Supreme Court of India strikes down the RBI's ban on cryptocurrency. And that's the reason why in 2022, once our finance ministry came out with, let's say, our budget, our union budget, at that time, it was said that, okay, 30% tax will be levied on crypto income. And they're also planning to come out with their own CBDC as well, which is a central bank digital currency, by 2022 or 2023 by that time. So what exactly it means? It means that although cryptocurrencies, these cryptocurrencies are just considered as virtual assets right now, it's not considered as a form of payment. Means to say legally or officially, I cannot do payment using the virtual currencies. But in the books now, it is represented that, okay, virtual assets are present and the government has recognized the same. So I'm not saying that, okay, it is the final step, but yes, it's the first step. It's the stepping stone on which the entire cryptocurrency world will be built on, and India will be riding high on the same as well. So what is the digital rupee, which is the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currency, which they're trying to come out with, is that it will be the digital representation of the fiat currency of Indian rupee over there. It will be considered a legal tender. And it will be a centralized digital currency as well, which will be managed by RBI. Why exactly centralized is required? So that accordingly they can govern and they can provide the security measures as well at any given point in time. Benefits will be efficient and cost effective, increased accessibility in remote areas, especially India being, let's say, a huge nation with a huge part in rural areas as well. So accordingly, we can utilize it at a lot of times. The same way like we are using UPI, in the same manner, let's say we might be able to use as well, which will result in reduced volatile risk as well. So what exactly will it impact on banks? Lesser dependency on cash. If you will see the market figures, the number of legal tenders, like the cash which was involved, which was used in the past couple of years, from 2 to 3 years, has been considerably reduced. And more, let's say people like, let's say you and me, have been performing these particular transactions via UPI, via different digital payment channels as well. So it will result, of course, in lesser dependency on cash. So that accordingly, the fraudulent activity, the terrorism, which can be adopted using, of course, these digital currencies and all, because it cannot be tracked and everything, can be reduced over there. The transformation of cross-currency trading functions and improved traceability to combat frauds as well, which will be, let's say, which will be a considerable impact when it comes into picture. So 2022-23 is the timeline which, let's say, they have mentioned. Let's see what exactly happens over there. So when it comes to cybersecurity approach, how exactly we'll be able to overcome these particular challenges? Before that, we need to understand that how many different types of cryptocurrencies are there across the world. And that is why you'll see that, okay, the cryptocurrency market has skyrocketed with over 8,000 different cryptocurrencies. Okay, 8,000 different. I have actually went ahead and joined a few groups in different spaces. And I have got to know that, okay, there are so many cryptocurrencies which are fluid right now in the market. And people are investing in them like crazy as well. So Bitcoin and all are not even present in those groups when I see the entire feed of line items. It goes with the n number of different new players as well. But those new players also shut down their shops also. Okay, it means that they might show a huge market cap. They might show that, okay, they are worth a lot, but maybe in a month or two, they might just vanish as well. So we have to take care of those things when we are coming. So 8,000 different cryptocurrencies are something which right now floating across the globe right now. And losses from crypto-related crimes as well has rose to under 79% from an year earlier as well. So what are the different security challenges? What are different security things? One is cloud cryptojacking, which is that, okay, a malware might, let's say, attack and let's say steal an organization credentials as well to gain access to their cloud environment. Why exactly is what exactly is cloud cryptojacking is that the malware, it will work like let's say a password stealer, or it might be let's say something which might be tracking your moves on your keyboards as well, okay, which will be able to sniff your password from the system or from your you can say the wallet which you are using for these crypto transactions, and then accordingly it might result into cloud cryptojacking as well. Wallet key theft, where your wallet key can be compromised, and then accordingly anybody might be able to perform transactions using your wallet, using your this payment wallet, the Bitcoin or the crypto wallet which you have. And then the ransomware. Ransomware plays a very unique feature when it comes to crypto currencies into cryptojacking, or let's say into crypto threats. Is because majority of ransomware attacks which we have seen in the past couple of years, majority of them have been asking the payments in cryptocurrencies. They usually give their Bitcoin or say their cryptocurrency address over there, and then accordingly they help in the transfer. It's scary as well a bit. Why exactly it's scary? Because you cannot track those transactions, and that's why many of the you can say the local government board, like let's say India as well, RBI as well, is quite skeptical in adapting to this, because they do not want that, okay, tomorrow some of the other terrorism is happening across the world using the cryptocurrency, where let's say it's being transferred via India as well at any given point in time, and we have no clue, and we cannot govern, we cannot administer, and we cannot control that particular part of the transaction. That's why ransomware had been using it, and that's how accordingly, let's say you and me have understood that a little bit of centralization over here is the need of the hour, so that accordingly you can say you and me feel a bit secure, and then the misuse of these cryptocurrencies is not there. So if, let's say, you are going ahead and let's say want to secure your payment processor, let's say want to secure your payment channel, which is using this cryptocurrency. So first of all, you should be focusing on the access control. That is, who all have access to this crypto information, your cryptocurrency wallet, your key integrity, and things like that. You should be making sure that, okay, these access controls are top notch. You can have multi-factor authentication enabled over there, the password complexity and things like that can be implemented based upon the organization policy. Technical assessment is a must. Although majority of, let's say, the central governing bodies do not enforce a technical assessment, but if you are dealing with cryptocurrencies, please go ahead and perform a technical assessment based upon many of the, let's say, the cybersecurity practices as well, which are available right now freely over the web, which you can go ahead and take it from NIST, SANS, CIS, and many different of them, let's say, have been coming out with latest guidelines around the same. Secure key storage. As I told you, it depends upon the PKI infrastructure. So the private key will be playing a very crucial role. Your wallet password will be playing a very crucial role in the security. You have to see that, okay, how exactly they are generated, distributed, and stored as well, so that all the three are being taken care of. And then accordingly, the secure key generation as well for the same. Many of you might have heard that, let's say, how exactly these keys are getting generated depends upon the algorithm at the back end. So the algorithm and all those things, whatever is being used for the key generation should be as secured as possible at any given point in time. And that's where we leave you with the 5-step solution, so that you yourself are prepared, are proactive in securing your organization. First of all, make the security a top priority for your organization. When I say top priority, it means that we should breathe security, we should eat security, we should live in security. I know that business comes first, but in today's times, we have understood that if, let's say, the security is not there, if, let's say, cyber security is not implemented in the right fashion, then business is just like a tickling time bomb. That is, it will go off at some point in time. At some point in time, it will just boomerang on top of you, and then accordingly, you won't be able to understand that, okay, how to take care of it. Many of the organizations have been bankrupted after they have been hit by hack, by ransomware, by let's say, by a breach as well, a forensics breach as well. So make security a top priority. Your employees and everyone should be aware about the same. Perform exercise like, let's say, breach attack simulation, a BAS exercise, so that you are well prepared with respect to whatever challenges might be coming forth. Password protection means access controls have to be prioritized. Multi-factor authentication is a way to go ahead with the same. You should monitor your network regularly. When I say regularly, it means real time. So your MDR solutions, your top-notch forensic-based MDR solutions will be playing a very crucial role over there. You should consult the security standards, like, let's say, cryptocurrency security standards are available right now in the market, which helps organizations in building a security posture for their cryptocurrencies, for their crypto transactions. And the data sanitization will be playing a very crucial role as well in the coming days, so that we know that, okay, which types of data are lying in, let's say, hard disks, servers, storage devices, and things like that, and how exactly we are protecting them as well. Like with respect to your wallet, what all data is present on maybe a backend server or maybe on your phone as well. Okay, and how exactly you are trying to protect it. How exactly the entire data is moving across the world as well. And again, point in time. So what exactly we understand from this entire session of where we have spent another 41 minutes or so is that organizations are preparing themselves, or banking institutes are preparing themselves for cryptocurrency because they know that, yes, it is the future. However, the cryptocurrencies, the blockchain, these kinds of payments come with their own baggage at the back end. When I say own baggage, it means that we cannot track it. We cannot do lots of things. We cannot identify a particular individual. It's not centrally governed, and n number of different things. So all these things are being taken care of by coming out with the CBDC, which is the central bank digital currencies. So that accordingly, it can be governed, monetized, and then accordingly, it can be secured as well. Okay. But once it comes, once these digital currencies as well come, the next critical factor over there will be how exactly you are securing your systems, which are storing, processing, or transmitting these cryptocurrencies at any given point in time. That is where you need to be prepared for. Because tomorrow, once these cryptocurrencies comes into picture, they go ahead and your organization starts accepting transactions based upon cryptocurrencies, based upon blockchain technology at the back end. The security will be playing a very, very crucial role. And if you are not prepared from a security architecture, from a security posture at that time, you might be falling, let's say, bait to one of the hackers or one of the intruders at any given point in time. On that particular note, let's start with the last polling, and then we can wrap up the entire session. Thank you. Ashwini, over to you.
Sure, Kaushik. Since the time is less, I'm rolling out the polling question. Meanwhile, you take the questions we have. We have a question from Vikram. Are the smart contracts are in line with regulation to be accepted to do transactions? Are they authorized or licensed to deal with doing business?
Okay. In India, no, because again, I told you, in India, cryptocurrencies can only be accepted as a virtual asset. It cannot be accepted as a payment or let's say as a legal tender. So till the time it's not accepted as a legal tender, the smart contracts and all those things is not helpful, is not possible. But the government, the institutions which accept cryptocurrencies, for them, absolutely smart contracts are the way to go. And then accordingly, if there are smart contracts, it means that, okay, I do not have to go with the lengthy process of proof of work. I do not have to go with the entire things. And then the transaction gets performed easier. Ashwini.
Thank you, Kaushik. We have one more question. Money parked in banks draws you roughly 7%. On what basis does crypto Bitcoin are offering 500%? Are crypto firms being audited? What are the processes, compliance they need to follow? Can you throw some light on the same?
Okay, there are many anti-money laundering laws which fall under this. If you want to go deeper into it, see something on the Shift network. Okay, I think it starts with SHYFT or something. Just search for it. That will give you much clarity as to how exactly these cryptocurrencies are moving across the world as well. And many of the biggest payment processors across the globe are coming together for this cryptocurrency revolution at any given point in time as well. Now, how exactly that 500% is going and how exactly that particular thing is going, it's the same way like, let's say, your market, your stock market goes. It depends upon the adoption. It depends upon how much we are using, how much those types of cryptocurrencies are floating across the market. That's how its pricing increase. And there are a number of different factors as well, which you can find. But to understand the entire thing around anti-money laundering, the rules, the regulations and all, go and have a look at the Shift network, that what exactly it says. And then over there, you will find something with the VSPC or VSDC as well, which will give you much more clearer picture as to the security parameters around it. Ashwini.
Thank you, Kaushik. So no more questions as of now. And for anyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to write us at marketing@sisainfosec.com. And stay tuned, we'll be coming more insightful sessions on CBDC and upcoming financial regulations and regulations. So thank you for joining us and have a great day and great evening. Bye.